Welcome to Private Banking Strategies Podcast with Vance, Lowe, and Seth Hicks, your secret weapon to protect your assets and never have to start over financially again. Vance and Seth help high net worth individuals, families, business owners, and investors structure an asset-protected, tax-free fortress for their families. Learn how to keep what you earn and use the velocity of money to create your own private banking system. Join us on this journey as we explore the secret strategies of the rich and political elite and help you take total control of your financial security. Now, on to the show.
Hello and welcome to Private Banking Strategies Podcast with Vance, Lowe, and Seth Hicks. Vance, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's been a little while since we've been able to do a podcast, and I'm looking forward to today's topic.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us what we're going to talk about.
I've been getting a lot of requests from doing client reviews about what's happening in today's economy. I want to introduce that, kind of bring into play, Seth, I'll need your help and background, a little bit of history of economies. Then we'll introduce how private banking strategies is exactly what we need to do to weather this storm. So let's get into this and talk about it a little bit. Seth, give me some reasons. Maybe I've been at this too long. Why do people think they still need to have money in the market?
Well, a lot of times I think that they're influenced by statistics, which are manipulated in wealth management, and they're unaware of the fees and the actual real return on the investment being much less than what it's being purported to be. Sometimes I think people feel like they're going to miss out on a higher return. I can make 30% with this amazing real estate investment, and the reality is that you can't and you don't over time. So those are some possible explanations, but I mean, it's more about breaking herd mentality and actually getting into the nuts and bolts of, a superior way to get it done.
It is what it is, folks, because we've been living a false economy for 20 years now. It's just not real. Even the stock market, in order for it to stay where it's been, has been subsidized by government and our tax dollars into the billions and billions of dollars. The performance in the stock market long term, it doesn't hold a candle because the stock market really is a machine to make certain people money at the expense of the herd mentality. And everybody listens because the stock market is preached to us every single day. The Dow is up, the Dow is down. The S&P is up, the S&P is down, and a few individual stocks, as if that is our world and that is our economy. Folks, it's not, it never has been, it never will be. The stock market is there to make government and stockbrokers money. And a few people who know how to actually work the system, they will make money. But the rest of the people have to lose money for anybody to gain. So is the stock market going up? Guess what we've seen, Seth? In just the last month, we've seen a record plunge. It just plunged in one day, and then it comes soaring back. So we think that if the stock market dives, then our country is in a downspin. If it's up, then everything is okay. But the stock market has never been healthy for a long, long time. And the results you've seen is fictitious because it's been manipulated and propped up. There's a system out there that has been alive far longer than the stock market. And it has a history, even today, of always, 100% of the time, long-term, beating the stock market on decimal point to decimal point. So, Seth, I think we need to get into the advantages and why this private banking strategy should be really important to you, to our listeners right now, because this is the solution to all this uncertainty.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, it's something that works for everybody, whether you're deep in debt or whether you're ultra wealthy mega millionaire. There's no risk. I mean, that's the beauty of it, is that all of the risk is not in our laps. Whereas with stock markets or other types of investment, you have to make a good investment. Now, sometimes we'll see out there universal life indexed, where folks that are claiming to do infinite banking or private banking type strategies, those products are absolutely ones that we stay away from because they transfer the risk to the actual person investor. Maybe you want to drill down there a little bit just to make sure our audience is aware.
One of the latest and greatest herd mentality inventions out there is called indexed universal life, because it's just the latest and greatest. Just the grass is now greener on the other side. It's a takeaway. It puts more risk on you. And I guess if you take a risk, then you can be rewarded. But the risk is in the stock market. The stock market is artificially held up. That should give you a warning right there. If that brace is taken away, that market is going to do what it should have done a long time ago and really tank, because it's just way overfunded. So if everything goes to zero, then you're down to the guarantees, and it's a very expensive contract. It's term. Every year, the expenses will go up, and it has a current rate and it has a max rate. You get to pay the current rate, but if costs go up or any other expenses that they deem necessary, they can immediately move to the maximum rate. And people don't have the insurance that they think they have when they need it the most. It lapses because, oh, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Your premium $100 a month, but now you've got to pay $1,000 a month just to keep it. And if you're in retirement, on a limited income, they can't afford to do that. So risk it's out there, especially in an uncertain environment. And the risk comes back to who controls your money. Private banking strategies has no risk. I did want to mention one more thing about the UL. I attended a luncheon yesterday with one of our major companies. And for me, it was totally 100% boring because it was all about pensions. And we don't deal with that anymore because that's total government control. They went into the design and indexed universal life was mentioned. And these pension masters immediately say, you can do that over here for the life insurance, but don't include it in your pension as far as what value it's going to be in the future. Because pensions should be built not on assumption, which they are. They should be completely built on guarantees. That's why some of the pensions, the big mega structure, I think American Airlines and some of the huge organizations out there, their pensions are imploding because they were based on assumptions and not guarantees. Oh, you should invest over here because you'll get this. This is the average. When in fact, it's not even close. So there's no market risk, none whatsoever. Okay. Insurance companies, here's their secret. Their secret is they have to be the last haven. They are the assurance that our nation can remain healthy and strong. They are regulated, but they employ the very best minds that America has to offer in actuary, in investment, and everything else. They are the absolute best. You could get in the stock market, and if you show huge brilliance and you're extra gifted, you might get an offer with an insurance carrier and learn how to set their system up. They have to have guarantees. They can't overextend themselves. They have to have 100% cash backup against all cash value. There's just not really any risk there. Back in the day, probably 30 plus years ago, there were two companies, insurance carriers, that went belly up. And they were B-rated anyway. It was a big hoo-hoo. Oh, life insurance has seen its last day, and all the other type of investment, because those who know where the money's at know that life insurance still holds the majority of all American money, not banks. Okay, the life insurance industry still holds all the money. Insurance carriers have got to perform correctly. They've got to know what's going on. And it always amazed me. Every single year, the market can go up and it can go down. It doesn't affect reality like the herd mentality thinks it does.
Did that story feel like it was about you? Do you feel like you are generating a lot of revenue, but are not moving forward as fast as you would like? Do you feel you should be making more progress toward your financial goals? Do you feel stuck? Let us help you get unstuck. Are you ready to take action and get your own private bank? Please visit us at www.privatebankingstrategies.com.
Remember when President Obama first got into office, what happened to our economy? It just literally tanked. Okay, small towns went belly up, they just were abandoned. I drive through Texas a lot. Some of the main roads that I would travel, I would go through some of these towns and I just all of a sudden see boarded up offices, stores, just totally abandoned. But these contracts went up. Every day there's no theft. Nobody can steal your money. Uncle Sam cannot come in to your private economy and ask for taxes because you will not create a taxable event. You're only going to be using after-tax dollars and move them back and forth. People, you need to look at what we've got here, folks, because number one, we changed the look of what you should be doing with money. We changed people from spending their money to using their money and getting it back. Absolutely critical. Money is made from volume of return, the reuse, the control of money. How much is coming back into my control to use again? The banks always get the money back. Our listeners out there never get the money back. They only get to spend it one time and it's gone forever. Folks, there's another world out there. What if you could get back 100% of your monthly expenses every single month? So there's no risk of theft, not government, not giving it to a shady investment group who just squander your money and then say, oh, we're going bankrupt. The only risk, because I guess in this life, we're not totally 100% risk-free, would be that person looking back at you in the mirror. So tell me why I say that. Tell the people why that might be a risk.
Well, one of the fundamental principles of private banking is having your money flow and be at work. So you think you've got this bank full of cash value that you want to put to work. And so you put it to work with various investments where you constantly want that money flowing back into your main bank where you're repaying what you've taken out in investments. So Nelson Nash calls that owning your own grocery store and paying for the peas at the register, not stealing the peas out the back door. So when we discuss that in our platforms, when we say don't steal the peas, we're talking about make sure you're an honest banker and you pay yourself back.
Yeah, the banks always get the money back, and nobody at the bank can embezzle any money. The banks never give money away free, but they always get it back. Folks, we've already told you the solution here. All we have to do is install the strategy the banks use, and you'll always get the money back. It's just you believing it and being able to set it up so that you can perform it. Let's talk now, Seth, about the best time to access or increase your private banking strategy, to set it up, whatever. When's the best time to do it?
10 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. And if we procrastinated?
10 years ago.
Well,
now.
Words,
it's time to do it now.
You have to do it now
reason.
because we all have to have day one. And I'll tell everybody right now, I read Nelson Nash's book. We recommend that all of you probably get that book. You can buy it off of Amazon. I think it's called Becoming Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash. You have to start with day one. What you lose is the back end, which is the most profitable. I didn't find out about this till later in life, and I was very discouraged. I talked to him and said, hey, why wasn't I told about this years ago when I could have made a difference? And he laughed. He says, I'm not laughing at you, but I'm laughing with you. You still have the same advantage as anyone else starting out, just not quite as long. This has been burned into me for a long, long time, and it was a huge surprise and a shock. When I sold my practice to my old partner and got into this, I brought Nelson Nash in because he was tutoring me anyway. And to our top clients, we had a huge room full, about 72 of our top clients. He was there and taught them for 2 days. And at the end, he opened up for discussion. He actually taught his book that I'm asking you to get because that's what it was created for. And one of the clients jumped up as soon as he said it's open for question. He raised his hand and he stood up at the same time and he says, hey, I'm doing this. The only thing I need to know is how much should I do? And Nelson smiles and he's sitting, he's an older man, so he's sitting on the edge of the desk. I can picture him right now. He smiles and says, well, I can answer that. How much do you make annually? Now he's in a room with all these other well-to-do clients, and he looks around and he gets a little embarrassed because he doesn't want to tell everybody how much he makes. And he says, no, you don't understand. I'm trying to know how much premium I should put into these contracts. We're going to call it premium. Folks, you're going to learn another definition of what that is, so don't think it's what you think it is. He smiled again and says, I'm trying to tell you, how much do you make annually. And he said, because you're already putting 100% of your money that you make annually in someone else's bank. Wouldn't you rather put that money in your bank and receive all the profits and the gains that the bank are making off you? And his eyes got really wide. He says, you want me to put 100% of my income into premium? And he goes, yes. If you understood, you'd start it immediately. So you want to totally convert over into your own private banking system, because what's the warning with rural banks, Seth? Why is our banking system so scary today?
Well, because of fractionalized lending and derivative banking, it's all propped up with no real backing or basis for the value of the money.
Okay, the Dodd-Frank Act literally concedes what money we have in accounts as well. So, folks, we're already putting 100% of what we earn in someone else's bank. And then we're taking it out and we're spending it. If I were a Martian and I would watch the average American person, I would go back and give this report. People work really hard for their money, but they hate money. They think of all kinds of ways to get rid of it as fast as they possibly can. So they're forced to go back to work, make everyone else money along the way, anywhere from 5 to 25 times what they're paid, just to do the whole process all over again. So folks, try to make a change in your life for the better. Seth, tell them how we're going to do this.
Yeah, well, like I mentioned earlier, you guys, if you like this content, subscribe to our channel, hit the thumbs up, share the content with other people who are thinking in congruence with us. But we have a book that Vance and I authored called How to Grow Rich with the Secret That Banks Don't Want You to Know. And so we've talked about some of those little nuggets, but there's a whole wealth of treasure within this book that we're offering to you guys for free. Go to our website, privatebankingstrategies.com. That's privatebankingstrategies.com. Put your name and your email in, and this book will become immediately available for you in an audio or written version, or both. And if that's resonating with you guys, be on the lookout for the emails that we send that hit on these type of topics and come with the freshest and newest publications we've done. If our book resonates with you, if this podcast resonates with you, schedule an exploratory call with Vance. The only place that you can find a link for that is in our emails that come to you, and if you're ready to go, schedule that exploratory call with Vance where he can start to rock and roll with you on this stuff. Vance, any closing remarks?
No, that exploratory call will prepare you to be able to take this whole strategy for a test drive. That test drive is at no fee or no obligation, but you will know once we've done that meeting with you whether you want this in your life or not. So take advantage of that.
Awesome. Thanks, folks. We'll see you on the next one.
All right. Bye-bye.
Did that story feel like it was about you? Do you feel you should be making more progress toward your financial goals? Do you feel stuck? Let us help you get unstuck. Are you ready to take action and get your own private bank? Please visit us at www.privatebankingstrategies.com.
Thank you for listening to the Private Banking Strategies Podcast. Click the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available.